Hello and welcome back into, I guess we're calling it the overtime. I mentioned didn't love the nickname. It's something we're still working on. So if you got any feedback, please hit us with some suggestions. But now this is a Friday release of The Long Shot. Just Dave and I just dialing it up. We had a great interview with George that we dropped yesterday that we hope you all enjoyed. I certainly enjoyed doing it. And now I'm officially on All-Star break. So, kick my feet up a little bit, not too much, obviously, keeping the sword sharp, but nonetheless able to take a breath here and just take a step back, which is nice. Dave, how are you feeling over there?
I'm great. How fitting that our first, Thursday, Friday release, we have the Go Weekend Go man himself, George Niang. You mentioned you are now on All-Star break when people are listening to this. Are you willing to divulge a little information as to what you're doing, where you are for All-Star break, where you're going, I should say?
Only a little, just a little bit, breadcrumbs, if you will. Yeah, I'm taking a little trip, to some, obviously I'm already in a warm climate in Miami, but, staying in a warm area. People ask me if I was going to Cleveland. No reason to go to Cleveland other than the fact that I am the Players Association rep for the Miami Heat. Yeah, I wear that hat really proudly. So there is a PA meeting that unfortunately I'll have to tune into via Zoom, but, I'm not in Cleveland and was thinking about going back home, but wanted to stay in some warm weather. So I'm on a little trip, just a brief little long weekend, if you will. Gonna, continue to work out, stay in shape, all that sort of stuff. But I'm not going to touch a ball for a couple of days. I think it's important to get a little bit of a mental break, just kind of get away from the game while still staying in shape. But it, All-Star break this year has come a little bit later than in years past relative to this point in the season. I think I want to say we have like 23 games left. Usually it happens when we have like 29 or 30 games left. So it's a little bit different. I think everybody has been waiting for this one, and everyone's just excited to just take a breath for sure.
How's this week look after a contract? Are you you're rolling around in it a little bit more? What do we think?
No, still flying commercial, still not wanting to check a bag, those extra check bag fees. I still keep it tight. No, there's a little bit, if I was staying, at a Sheraton, maybe I'm staying at a Marriott now, just a little bit upgraded, just a little bit, you got to lean into a little, you got to celebrate, you got to not necessarily celebrate, but you got to enjoy the fruits of your labor, I should say. So yeah, nothing too drastic, but yeah, I am excited to step back and just kind of take it easy here for a couple of days.
Here's a question. Do you feel inclined to go on a vacation because it's what people do for All-Star break, or is your body craving a trip?
No, definitely don't feel inclined. Last year during the break, I just stayed in Miami. And, obviously I had the luxury of being in Miami because it is a very nice place to be, for a long weekend. A lot of people actually go to Miami. So I thought about sticking around Miami this year as well. But, I kind of learned from last year that because so many people come to Miami over this stretch, I don't necessarily get to like relax. I end up, going to see people, going to dinners, doing this and that. Whereas, if I'm able to kind of get off the grid a little bit just for a couple of days, I'm just able to kind of step away from it all, which is nice for sure. I'm also excited to watch our staff coach the All-Star game. The assistants are coaching on Friday, the Rising Stars game. So I'll try to tune into those. Obviously going to want to watch the Saturday night events. Those are always fun to watch. And then Sunday get to watch our staff, coach. I think it's Team Durant. I don't even know who they're coaching. I think it's Team Durant.
I think that's right. I think, represent the Eastern Conference. What a bummer for those guys. I get it. It's an honor. You're the 1 seed. You get to coach, but they don't get to go on the vacation.
I asked some people on our staff because it really came down to the wire. We were in DC and the cutoff was, I think, a Sunday. So I guess now it will have been 2 Sundays prior to the actual All-Star game. And the Bulls and us were neck and neck, and the Bulls were playing, I don't know if they were playing somebody, and it was basically if they won, then they got the 1 seed and they wouldn't go. And if they lost, then then we got the 1 seed. And I was curious. I remember asking, like, what are the emotions? Like, do you want to win? Do you want to lose? What is it? And the overall consensus was that they wanted to go, because it is once in a lifetime. I mean, you can take a long weekend trip or get away with your family for now until the end of time, but you don't always have the opportunity to coach an all-star game, which is pretty cool. And, they're going to bring their families and their kids, and it's just a cool overall experience. I will say it'd probably be a little bit cooler if it wasn't in Cleveland. Not trying to come at Cleveland at all. Not trying to have a Joakim Noah thing here. I'm actually very fond of the city of Cleveland. I enjoy the Midwest very much, more so just from a weather standpoint. It would be nice to be someplace warm, but you can't always choose that stuff. So,
yeah, fair enough. You mentioned Saturday night. Do you have a dunk contest pick?
Can you remind me of who's in it? It's like Cole Anthony,
Jalen Green.
Jalen Green, yes. Who else? I'll take Jalen Green. Actually, he has a lot of bounce. That's my early pack. Juan Toscano Anderson is.
I was gonna say you haven't even heard the rest of the field.
No, but I remember seeing it. It's Juan Toscano Anderson, Jalen Green, Cole Anthony, and who's the fourth?
Do you think you can? Sorry. Do you think you can? Do you think you can guess?
I mean, honestly, I have no idea.
Obi Toppin.
Obi Toppin, that's right. Actually, he has some ridiculous in-game dunks. I think he's a dark horse. He was in it last year too. I'll take Jalen Green just because I feel like the dunk contest is actually a disadvantage for taller players. I've learned that over the years. You very rarely, outside of Dwight, obviously he won it, but like you very rarely see taller players win dunk contests. Aaron Gordon obviously was incredible, but he's only, 6'8", 6'9". But like once you get into that taller, Obi's 6'9", 6'10". I just realized that it tends to favor guards with more bounce. So I'll take Jalen Green. Do you have a pick?
Jalen Green's the favorite. I'm looking at odds right now. Jalen Green's the favorite, then Obi Toppin, then Cole Anthony, then Juan Toscano Anderson. In the spirit of the long shot, I think I'm going Juan Toscano Anderson. He's competed in dunk contests before, so I think experience plays a big role here. I don't know. We'll see. I think Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon kind of broke the dunk contest. Expectations are really high. So I just want to see some creativity, blowing a candle out on the rim, wheeling a second hoop out, dunking 2 balls at once. Just give me something. Give me something fun. Ideally something I haven't seen before.
I will say I love the showmanship. I'm a sucker for just a performance of some sort. So if you can like just really hype up the crowd and just really have something special where it's like, never before seen in that sense, I'm all for it. By the way, you referenced Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine breaking the dunk contest. How about a little love for my former teammate, Derek Jones Jr., because he actually beat Aaron Gordon in that dunk contest.
No shade.
One of them, I should say. I think he is also one who has, quote unquote, broke the dunk contest because he has some incredibly impressive dunks. He really does.
You talk about showmanship. I think your teammate, Victor Oladipo, sang at the dunk contest. Did that happen? Am I remembering that correctly? Because if you can give me a performance before a dunk, then now you're pulling out all the stops.
I don't think he sang. I think he just incorporated Black Panther into his
that too, but I'm almost positive that he came out singing before a dunk contest. I think this was when it wasn't Indiana. I think this was when he was in Orlando. I'm going to look this up.
We might need to look into that. Speaking of dunks, Dave, I had a dunk this week.
Yes.
And I just want to, I have this platform of a podcast and I just want to use this podcast to talk about it, unpack it a little bit. What was your reaction from that play?
I'm going to be honest. I don't really care at all about who you think is going to win the dunk contest. It was purely me hoping that it was going to be a way for us to transition to your dunk. I was probably going to try to make some joke about how you should have been in the dunk contest afterwards, or after that flash of athleticism. I'll say this. I think it was not spoken about enough how you almost fell over. You almost lost balance. The ball almost slipped out of your hand. I saw a lot of people complimenting your athleticism. I actually think I saw it the other way. It looked to me like you almost tripped over yourself because you were moving faster than you knew how to handle.
Yeah. We talked about this, I should say, past tense with George a little bit. And there's this idea that, if you do a certain thing, like I shoot threes and that's predominantly my play style. People tend to think that you're just like severely incapable in all other areas. I'm 6'7", 6'8". I'm pretty long. I don't know if I should feel disrespected or enjoy it that people had the reaction that they did, because it was a pretty standard, simple dunk. I guess maybe like the move leading up to it maybe had something to do with it.
Yeah. But,
nonetheless, I feel a certain just a little bit of shade and disrespect that the reaction was what it was. And that's not like, I know people are just like supporting me. So it's not necessarily at them. It's just, I just feel slighted personally. And that's something that I clearly have to deal with and wrestle with, but I digress.
Well, I know you've talked about how you're a 1 foot jumper, not a 2 foot jumper, but it is kind of amazing that the same person that had the Lakers dunk attempt can be the one who did what you did against Brooklyn. Cause talk about like polar opposite ends of the just optically looking athletic.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say it again. I don't run away from it. I really cannot jump off 2 feet. 1 foot is a lot more comfortable. I'll also say this, and you pointed it out. I like almost kind of did stumble and trip a little bit on it. If I hadn't, I think you would have seen something pretty special. Maybe a little extra, mustard on the hot dog, some sort of like cock back, or maybe a little reverse, something that just would have been a little bit more impressive, because I will say it was early enough in the game too, where I was still feeling pretty froggy. Like I was feeling good, athletic, bouncy. So yeah, maybe there'll be another opportunity here in the future. We'll see.
It was a great move. You absolutely froze Blake Griffin. Went right by him with the left, which is, let's keep in mind, it's your offhand. My one gripe is that you didn't hang. I think while it wasn't like an incredibly impressive dunk, like you said, you just sort of off 1 foot, 2 hands. I think a simple hang, swing around the rim takes it up like 5 notches. You just did the like throw through, which was a little anticlimactic.
You know what, Dave, but we recently learned the danger of hanging on the rim. Bam the other night tried to do a reverse dunk and hung on the rim, and the ball hit his head and bounced out. So really it was a strategic approach by me. Once again, I've said it before, 2 hands for safety. I'm all about just getting the 2 points. I don't care how it looks. I don't care, the reaction, whatever. But for me, just to really make sure that I get those 2 points, I think the best way to do it is just elevate, 2 hands on the rim, drop it in there, and just keep it moving. Just get back on defense, try to get a stop, and then do it again.
While that is definitely the right answer, I couldn't disagree more. I think that you don't get many opportunities to add a little flair, and that was one. And the move alone was flair. Don't get it wrong. The move alone was flair. You got a transition blow by dunk that, it was beautiful. But I just think a simple hang would have added a lot.
Dave, I'm fired up to announce that this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Is there something interfering with your happiness or maybe preventing you from achieving your ultimate goals? BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. I know for me, having a cluttered mind or something on my mind always kind of gets in the way of the physical, and having somebody that I can talk to with that sort of stuff definitely just allows me to be the best version of myself.
Yeah, absolutely. And to do it quickly, you'll be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours, Dunk. It's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It is professional therapy done securely online. There's a broad range of expertise available, which may not be locally available in many areas. You can log into your account anytime, send messages to your therapist anytime, and you'll get timely, thoughtful responses. Plus, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions so you won't ever have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room. No one wants to do that, like you may have had to do in the past.
Yeah, I mean, it's like having your own personal therapist. It is like having your own personal therapist right in your pocket. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches so they make it easy and free to change therapists if needed. It's more affordable than traditional online therapy, which is important, and financial aid is available if you need it. BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life starting today. Visit their website and read their testimonials that are posted daily, like this one. Quote, I feel less stressed, anxious, and depressed. It's really a great option for anyone looking for affordable help. End quote. Visit betterhelp.com/LS. That's better, HELP, and join the over 2 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp that they are recruiting additional therapists in all 50 states. Special offer for Long Shot fans. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/LS. Better your life today. Dave, I have a pretty exciting announcement.
Hit me with it.
We've talked a little bit about on this show the crypto space, right? And we've talked about how I've kind of started to interest myself. We talked about the ballers community. I gave a couple coins that I was a little bit bullish on. Once again, not financial advice in any shape, way or form. But I'm actually excited to announce that I partnered with Rally, which is a crypto company, and they're working in the space to release my very own signature Debo coin. And I want to start by saying this is something I've been thinking about for a while. Was kind of kicking it around. The last thing I wanted it to do, what I've kind of learned from being somewhat involved in this space, is that there are a lot of athletes that are doing this in kind of like a cash grab, money grab sort of way. I want to clarify first off that it is absolutely not that, but more so what I've really learned is through this podcast, the community that we've built. And I call it a community more than a fan base or anything, because I do feel like we interact, and I feel like through our Discords or our social media or what have you, we've built a connection with our people. And this is basically a way for us to extend that even further. So basically the coin will be available on Rally. I'm giving away a bunch of the coin to people that are on the Discord already. And it'll be a token gated Discord channel. And also if you hold Rally coin, you'll have all sorts of access to, long shot stuff, whether it be, additional content, merch, and additionally, we'll have different giveaways and stuff of that sort. So it's just really a way for us to extend the community further and continue to engage with the people that engage with our content week in and week out.
I got to be honest, Dunk, a lot of what you just explained was a little bit like Chinese to me, but I'll tell you one thing, I'm going to be a Debo holder. Feel pretty confident about that.
I love that. And I appreciate the support. And, like I said, it's going to be an ongoing thing. I'm still kind of trying to learn more and more about the space. But it was after having conversations with the team over at Rally. What they've been doing is really cool. And they've done it with different athletes and entertainers and all sorts of things. I think I'm the first NBA player to actually have a coin. But the exciting thing is it really just means more for you guys listening and more of a way for us to continue to engage and also pay it back all the hours that you've dedicated to listening to us ramble. So I'm excited to get it going and just be on the lookout for more information regarding it. And like I said, I'm going to be giving away a whole bunch. So don't think that it's, you got to pay all sorts of money or whatever. It's really more so just about having kind of like a token gated access to just more content and more interaction.
So what you're basically saying is Rally Coin means more work for me is what it sounds like.
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, here's the other cool part about it is if you want to be, a part of it further, you can actually earn Rally coin or Debo coin, I should say, through helping out in the Discord and being a moderator on the channels and doing that sort of thing. So there's other ways, like you don't have to just like break into your pocket and pay for it. Like I said, I'll be giving some away, but you'll also be able to earn some as well. But yeah, you're going to be doing some lifting behind the scenes. You do a great job with it. So, But yeah, so I'm excited to do that. We've talked a little bit about the NFT stuff and the crypto space, but I think this is an exciting new development that I think has a lot of potential. I really do.
Love it. Yeah. Put it on my shoulders, man. I'm here. I want the work. Speaking of giveaways, you have a giveaway.
Yes, we've completed a giveaway, and this is this is now like the little crypto section of our podcast. Opportunity to shout out the Ballers community. We did a giveaway with my own rendition of a baller, and I'd like to shout out Coach McGurk, who won my rendition of a baller, which is pretty exciting stuff. And just shout out Coach, man. I'm a huge fan of the Ballers community. Been a part of it for a while now. It's great stuff that they're doing. And Coach is a emoji artist extraordinaire, and he's a big fan of the Ballers project. And I know he's a big part of the community as well. So I'm excited to gift him with that. And love the Ballers community. If you haven't had a chance to check them out, please do. I really think you'll enjoy it. And if you don't understand the NFT stuff at all, like I very much did not too long ago, they do a really good job of making everyone feel welcome. So check that out if you get the chance.
Look at you, man. Crypto connoisseur.
Anyways, Dave, we talked about what I'm doing for All-Star. I'm curious, what are you doing for All-Star break? You know, you've been working your tail off. Are you going to be able to kick your feet up at all, get under some sun, and just enjoy the fruits of your labor?
You know, All-Star is happening just a short 2.5 hours away from Ann Arbor. So I'm actually debating going down, just making a trip. I don't have tickets to any of the events. We have a couple of people we know that are going to be down there. So really it would just be me trying to weasel my way into some things. But it's so close. And as we've talked about, I am firmly cementing myself in the world of, I'm a basketball media guy now, just full on. Right. So it feels like it would be doing a disservice to the podcast if I wasn't down there. So we're going to see. I think I might tap in.
I love it. Love the idea of having you boots on the ground representing the Long Shot podcast. I'm curious, has there been any effort to secure like any sort of media credential? I mean, you are a legit part of the media.
Yeah, none, zero. The Miami Heat have been kind enough to dish a couple of those out to me because, I think that's really just more of a sentiment of how they feel about you. So no, I have not tried to go to the NBA. It was something that maybe next year, maybe that's a goal of ours and of mine for the podcast, is that by next All-Star game, I have a media pass. I think that's a good one. That's one we'll put on the vision board. I
think it's totally within the realm of possibility. And like you've had goals for me, the league fits appearances, the different shoes, all that sort of stuff that we've talked about. Maybe I should put together a little list for you. So I'll get to working on that. But that's actually a great one. Get a media credential for an All-Star game. You got a little stat pack for us, a stats stack up, I believe is what you wanted to call it, which I love that. A little alliteration. What do we got? Can you just explain it a little bit, and then we can just kind of take it from there?
100%. Second time we've done this. We'll hit this and then we'll get out of here. No question of the week, no long shot feature. This is a good one though. Just to remind you, it's a game. It's a game for you. I'm going to give you a stat category. I'm going to give you a couple players, and I need you to guess where you rank amongst the other players in that stat. So, for example, points per game. If I were to say you, Joel Embiid, Ja Morant, rank those three.
Joel is definitely first in that group. Ja is definitely second, and I am most certainly third. So that was a layup there for that first one.
Yeah. No, you are definitely third. Okay. I just want to make sure you understood how to play the game. Okay. Rebounds per game. You, Matisse Thybulle, Joe Ingles. This is points per game, not total on the season.
No, this is rebounds per game.
Rebounds per game. Per game. Yes.
Rebounds. Rebounds per game. I'll take Matisse first. I'll take myself second. I'll take Joe third. Do you know how many rebounds you're averaging this year? 3.
On the dot, 3.0.
Yeah.
Joe Ingles 2.9. Wow. Matisse 2.3. So actually,
wow,
you're number one in that group, huh? How about that?
That actually surprises me. Matisse is incredibly athletic, I will say. So that one definitely surprises me. That's good. That's good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff.
What else we got?
You called this out last year. What this game ends up becoming is like either a way to shit on you or compliment you. Like there's really no way to do it any other way. So, steals per game. Okay. You, Dwight Howard, Torrey Craig.
See, I think this is another compliment. I think this is going to be an opportunity for you to show me some love, because I do think I've had not like a lot, but maybe for myself, a sneaky amount of steals this year. So I'll take myself 1. I'll take Torrey Craig 2, and I'll take Dwight 3.
No, but
then again, I don't. Yeah, this is one where like Dwight's probably actually above Torrey. Dwight might be first.
Do you want to reframe your guess real quick?
Yeah, I'll go Dwight 1. I'll go me 2, Torrey Craig 3.
Correct. And you guys are all right in the same. Dwight's 0.7 a game, you're 0.6, Torrey Craig's 0.5.
Yeah, so I mean, all three are pretty underwhelming. I will say that Torrey, I mean, great defense. I mean, he's a really good defender, but great defense isn't just getting steals. I'd like to point that out. I mean, it's a part of it, but it's not just getting steals.
In fact, yeah, I mean, most of your steals come being in the right spot, passing lane. You know, a lot of that is like the mental side of defense. I think, you know, you've spoken openly about your physical limitations on the ball, but hey, man, the mental side of the defensive game, you've been crushing.
I love that. I appreciate that. Leave it to my co-host to just pump up my tires a little bit.
Yeah, this is good. It's funny. The beginning of this podcast last year was just us complimenting each other a lot. And then for some reason it took a turn where we would just insult each other. So I think it's important that maybe we get back to complimenting every once in a while.
Yeah, I actually preferred the phase where it was us coming at each other to the point where like I remember reading it somewhere. It might have been on the Discord, or it might have been in a comment somewhere of like somebody was like legitimately concerned that we were like no longer friends, and that this had been like a wedge that had been driven between us. Where I will say that's not the case at all, but there have been times where sometimes I'm just like, I just want Davis, my friend, back, you know, but all I get whenever I call you is Davis, the co-host. But that's not the case. Obviously, you know, we're still very close. So rest assured, whoever that was that raised that concern, Davis and I are better than ever.
I think it was this exact conversation that led to those comments. It was talking about how we don't ever speak unless it's about the podcast, which is a joke. I mean, we talk quite a bit. Okay. I got a couple more for you. Let's go blocks per game. Okay. Blocks per game.
Yep.
You, Mike Conley, Chris Paul.
See, this is one where you're going to shit on me. I'm definitely last in these three. I'll take CP first, Mike Conley, and then me third.
What's the giveaway that I put 2 like shorter guards on the list?
Yeah, because you just put 2 short guards in the list. So then it's obviously you're going to like push some narrative that, you know, why does Chris Paul and Mike Conley get more blocks per game than Duncan? But yeah, low hanging fruit, honestly.
Yeah, you're right. Chris Paul, Mike Conley, and then you. Yeah. All right, fine. Easy.
I'm dialed in. I mean, I had like the one little mix up with the Dwight and Torrey thing, but other than that, I'm pretty locked in here.
That was good. Okay. Last one. How about free throws made per game? Okay. You, Lonzo, Danny Green.
See, I would be shocked if I was in front of Lonzo on this one. But once again, I'm able to kind of read the narrative here. I think I'm probably first. I think Lonzo's probably second, and I imagine Danny Green's third.
Ding, ding, ding. Wow. Look at you.
Yeah.
Last year, you were pretty bad at this one. This year, you crushed that.
You know what I realized though? I realized that it's more of it's like a psychological analysis than it is actually looking at the stats. Like if I can effectively psychoanalyze what the message and narrative that you're trying to portray, then the stats are irrelevant. It doesn't even matter. You know what I mean? Like it's not about, you know, like throw out any sort of context that you think you have. It's really just about you trying to push a narrative and me trying to figure out what that narrative is.
See, now what you've done, Duncan, is you've cracked the code to this entire podcast. That's what we do every week is like, I don't actually care about what any of these people are averaging per game. We don't like, you really think we want to get into the weeds of the stats? No, we're pushing a narrative. You're hitting more free throws a game than Lonzo. You have less blocks per game than Mike Conley. I mean, these are the things we're trying to point out.
No, it's good stuff. And I appreciate you doing the legwork on digging through, pouring through the data, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's good stuff. Anything else, Dave, you want to touch on before we call it a week here?
Yeah. I have one final trivia question for you. Okay.
All right, what do you got?
In the spirit of the long shot, we celebrate the undrafted. Freddie Van Vliet becomes the 5th ever undrafted All-Star.
Yep.
How do you think you can name the other 4? It's a tall task.
I know I can name one. Ben Wallace.
Correct.
He's for sure in there. Can I get some hints on the others?
Yeah, I can give you like general eras, maybe.
Okay.
We've got like 90s, 2000s. We've got like 80s, 90s, and then we've got like a 70s.
Who's the guy? The guy from the Knicks. He was undrafted. The guard, John Starks.
Correct. Wow, that's a good one. Good poll.
Yeah, honestly, that's all I got. I actually don't
Starks.
Anything beyond that. So I have Starks, Van Fleet, Ben Wallace.
Yep.
So that's the 90s era. Yeah, I mean, I'm a lost cause from there. I don't even want to guess.
No, that's fine. I'm honestly impressed. Ben Wallace was a little bit of a lob, but I'm impressed.
Yeah, I mean, I had known Ben Wallace was undrafted. I mean, I should know this. I mean, these are my undrafted.
Correct. These guys laid the blueprint. Yeah. So 70s, Connie Hawkins.
I wasn't going to get that.
4-time NBA All-Star. Probably had the peak of his career. So we shouted out Harry in our conversation with George. This is another shout out to our friend Harry. Harry and I did a deep dive on Connie Hawkins the other day because we were talking about the fact that we were trying to figure out who the other undrafted All-Stars were. So I can tell you, Dunk, Connie Hawkins, the peak of his career was at the ABA, but then he came towards the latter part of his career to the NBA and still made some All-Star teams in the NBA. Last one, Brad Miller. Undrafted All-Star.
I could have got Brad. Brad was totally in the wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Connie Hawkins, I wasn't going to get. Brad Miller, I could have got.
Not bad, though.
Disappointed in myself.
The John Starks poll was pretty good. I was surprised to know he was an All-Star, but shout out to John Starks. Shout out to all those guys. Undrafted. Again, laying the blueprint. When you become
shout out to you too.
When you become the 6th person on that list, we'll have this conversation again, and hopefully you will have remembered all these names.
I love it. I mean, don't forget, Dave, you are also undrafted. You were not taken in the NBA draft. That's an important thing to remember.
That's a fact. So when I become the 7th NBA undrafted All-Star, then we'll have this conversation a third time. People will be tired of it at that point.
Yeah. Then we can really celebrate. We'll throw an undrafted party. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, we got some exciting stuff this week. We'll be back hopefully in person actually next week. Don't want to promise anything too much. And certainly not going to reveal anything too much, but hopefully we can make it happen. But hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. And as always, thank you for tuning in.